Hey everybody, it's Taki 117 back with Taki's Space Program. Last episode we had to cut our Vostok 6 mission a little short because we started running out of power. Well, we fixed that problem, and so now we have our new upgraded Vostok 6 spacecraft sitting on the pad. So launching in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's not good. That's not good. Hopefully we can pull out of this. Okay, so far so good. We are now going up as opposed to not up. A little bit of slide slip, not an issue. The main cause of that was I actually had accidentally activated my stability and assistance system instead of simply activating the SAS module built into the spacecraft. But the good news is we are at least going the correct direction now. Separate, and there it is. And of course they proceed to destroy themselves because, well, that's how these are designed. There we go, 20, let's do 20 degrees at 20 kilometers. Dipping a little low, that's okay. Beautiful rocket there. As you can see, I have the 4 main nozzles and these 4 smaller burner engines. Fuel is burning from the top down. So this one is empty, this one is emptying. because as I burn fuel, my thrust to weight ratio goes up, and here we go, it's starting to increase again. Now, this is probably a fairly efficient path to orbit. I just got a blip over there. Planet or something or other is visible. Let's see if we can find it again. Oh. No, one of my communication satellites is dipping below the horizon there on its orbit. It's always cool to see these things. There goes Jupiter. Looks like you can also see some of its moons bulging there. That's a nice little touch. Some of the larger moons of Jupiter will cause its shape to bulge as they orbit the planet. In this case, visible to the naked eye. Usually you need a pair of binoculars or a telescope. Okay. 110 kilometers. Sounds like a pretty good orbit. Let's go ahead and warp a little bit. Now, I don't want to ditch this fairing just yet. Again, because it protects the spacecraft and also provides a little bit of aerodynamic, not lift, but it provides some aerodynamics so that we can cut through the air a little easier. Something, there we go. A little bit of a stutter there as things get situated. 68, 69 kilometers and 70 kilometers. We are officially in space. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and set up my maneuver node. And I want to circularize my orbit at the next apoapsis. I'm going to create that node, and it takes 110 meters a second of delta V. Awesome. Let's go ahead and release the Vostok spacecraft. There it goes. There it is. Fairly close representation. I mean, it obviously doesn't have all the bells and whistles. So let's activate these engines. There we go. And we are now going to execute that node. We warp away our... Now, the 3 parts I just jettisoned are going to fall back to the surface because they are on a suborbital trajectory, and they will unfortunately be destroyed. If I really wanted to, I could put a probe core on my main lifter stage and try to salvage it, either by soft landing or a return to launch site. However, I have enough funds now that I don't need to worry about that. Over the last couple episodes, I was getting low on funds. I accepted some more contracts to fix that. And here we go. We're now in orbit. And I would have had plenty. So, building this updated version, I toyed around with using a fuel cell, or a fuel converter that converts liquid fuel and oxygen to electricity, and I wasn't entirely sure I would have enough fuel to pull it off. Turns out I do. Now, normally I wouldn't do this. Normally I would just leave this fuel tank attached and deorbit using that, but considering this is a fairly historic mission, I'm going to go ahead and ditch it. And there we go, there is the Vostok spacecraft. Now, as you can see, I have to stay in orbit for 17 hours, 56 minutes, and about 25 seconds. That's a long time, which is why I needed a way to generate power. So what I did, and you can't see them, but we're going to zoom in here. There they are. Is I added 4 of these mini RTGs. They don't affect the engine at all. They just kind of exist, and what they do is they generate more electric charge than I'm using. So that will stay full. I have 4 days of oxygen, and I have something like 6 days of food, I believe. Let's see here. So I have all these errors, but I don't really care about them. Oh, there we go. See if I can find Vostok 6. Here it is. Oh, I was wrong. I have 2 days of food and 4 days of oxygen, which is more than enough, because 17 hours is less than a day, but it's still a fairly long time. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave Marta here in orbit, passing over Africa, and we're going to see about completing this position the satellite in a specific orbit. We're going to head to the Space Center. Kerbal alarm clock informing me that there is an update. The reason for that is I am still using 1.13, however, Kerbal Space Program 1.3 just dropped recently, language update, so those of you that speak Russian, Chinese, Spanish, and one other one can now play Kerbal Space Program in your native language, which I think is kind of cool. So hopefully this one has the right material, or the right part rather. And as you can see, we are 10 days from our Venus launch window and 33 days from Mars. So I've built interplanetary satellite delivery systems for both of them, and those are designed to launch multiple satellites at once to cover the planet with communication satellites. Also fulfilling the Mars and Venus coverage contracts, hopefully. I need to cover 95% of the surface, so I've put omnidirectional antennas on them, and they are going to have an orbit periapsis of 2.5 megameters, which is about half of the distance, half the maximum distance of the omnidirectional antennas that I've put on them, so that anything on the surface can communicate with any satellite in orbit. Let's go ahead and recondition the launch pad. And having this Kerbal construction time on has really slowed my game down, and I absolutely love it. It's really one of those mods that, yes, I could fire off rockets every, few minutes normally, but this, I have to build them, I have to, recondition the launch pad, I have to roll them out to the pad, and it's very time consuming. Like, as you can see, I'm already wasted almost a full day just waiting on the launch pad and the rollout. Now, this one's going to be a little tricky because it is launching into a specific orbit. I do need to account for that during the launch. Those of you that have been with me for a while will know that I had to take my initial rocket for this mission and instead repurpose it for my Telstar 1 contract, which was simply put a rocket in orbit with a periapsis minimum of I believe it was 900 kilometers, and a periapsis, or a eccentricity greater than 0.2. So, as you can see, very small rocket, but it has tons of delta V. It is almost a single stage to orbit. Not quite. Although with proper flying, I'm sure it could be. There we go. So the green line is our target orbit. Oh, and we are... Oh, okay. Awesome. We can go ahead and launch without much issue. So I do want to set this up. I need my heading to be... I believe it's 235 was the number I came up with. That will get me going not only the correct direction, but also the correct inclination. There we go. I cannot talk today. I apologize for those of you listening. So, launching in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it goes. Beautiful launch. So we'll see how this goes. I need an inclination of 149.2 degrees. Here we go, beginning our pitch, and as you can see, I'm going westward. Zoom in. You can actually see my orbit changing here. Very slowly. But it is changing. Faster here. Oh dear, oh dear. Poop. Alright, so we are going to point up, and we are going to try and save this rocket. Here we go. Surface info. I have not set up my... Unfortunately, MechJeb decided to delete my settings, so I had to reset up the Windows, and I haven't done my suicide burn counter. Here we go, miscellaneous. Suicide burn countdown, time to impact. Point surface velocity, negative. Okay, we are falling. For some reason my suicide burn countdown is going up instead of down. Okay, now it's starting to go down. Plenty of delta V, so I can just kind of feather this. This is not good. If I can save this satellite, that would be absolutely amazing. With a 0.89 thrust to weight ratio, actually doing pretty good. Parts are hitting the ground. For those of you living in the Florida area, I'm about to land a satellite in your backyard. I apologize. Don't think I'm going to be able to save it, though. Oh dear. Nope, 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 nope. And this is why you don't overcompensate on your gravity turn, like I tried to do. So we will... Well, we're going to pack up, we're going to try again, and hopefully we can not screw up like we did. So that's what I get for being distracted by talking and not paying attention to what my rocket is doing and showing you orbits instead of flying. So, oh well, it happens. Like I said, I have plenty of funds now to make up for that. I don't like using rockets like that, but oh well, it happens. So, anyway, until next time, I'm Taki117, and remember, it's only rocket science.